LCO, what's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. You can call me Mina for short, or Divine Starseed. This is a reading for the collective, and there are some triggering energies here just based on the vibration I was channeling prior. And then when I was led to the decks that I was led to use, this is pretty heavy. So trigger warning on that. Because it is for the collective, only pay attention to what resonates to and for you. Use your discernment always, your intuition separated from your opinion, so that you can understand what it is that you needed to see here, take away. And most importantly, remember that you are responsible for your actions and reactions to any type of spiritual messages or guidance. Make sure that you're utilizing discernment, okay, because this is pretty heavy. We have a lot of heavy energy around right now because there's a lot of, I told you guys, people's true colors coming to the surface, negative intent coming to the surface. And a lot of you, there are really important things. Even if you think what you're meant to do is minuscule, it's more important than you're giving it credit, right? And there are energies around you that want to sap that from you, or they want to sabotage, maybe put you in a predicament where you once again sabotage yourself. Anything to keep you from expressing that light, that magic that's within you that wants to come to the surface. I don't care how y'all feel about some of these words based on how people have interpreted them over time. Every single living being has energy, and therefore every single living being and thing has a vibration and therefore its own unique magic within it. And it's about time that some of y'all start learning what that is, so that when you pick up on certain things, you really trust your intuition more, instead of just brushing it off and then having the, I wish I would have followed my first mind. I wish I would have told so and so or such and such what I felt. Okay, listen to your intuition. Some of you are tapping into gifts that running your family, maybe you didn't know that. Maybe it took you saying that you felt something, saw something, heard something for someone to go, oh, your auntie, your great grandmother, your grandfather used to be that way. Whatever the case may be, somebody else sees what you refuse to see, is the bottom line. All right, for some of you, you might have been watched the Still Dial reading, the reading which had the Japanese song Still Dial channel for it, because we're led to use the Alice deck here, and I'm hearing that intro, hi Miss Alice, like I'm hearing that over and over again. So someone could feel like they're kind of being pulled into a different world or into a different vibration. This isn't really a pick a card, so I'm probably not going to include timestamps. What I will say is that you may resonate with one side initially or first, and then it may seamlessly flow into the other, or you may resonate with one side of this completely and not with the other. Use your discernment, right? But the way I'm being moved to do this is that these are all connected. They're all connecting. And we'll pull even more cards to dive deeper into it. That was just a bit of the pre-channeling so that you understand what we're dealing with here and how heavy it feels for some of you. There's a reason things are this heavy. So again, I'm not necessarily doing a timestamp, but I will start with this side first. Okay. I recommend watching them all just in case. We're going to start off with the tarot. Ace of Pentacles. That's not the vibe I'm getting from this at all, though. Not traditionally. It's like someone wants to catch you off guard. I keep picking up on the energy of sleight of hand, show you one thing and really there's another going on. You're distracted, so you don't see the trick, right? There's something about this curtain too, like the curtain being pulled back. However, I feel like someone's pulling the curtain back and showing you things or energies that you're maybe used to feel but you couldn't quite identify, and it's like somebody's trying to come in and be that person to say, oh, well, I can teach you that, or I can show you how that works. And they peel back the curtain and they distract you with thinking that the door that's open is the door that leads to your enlightenment, or it's the door that leads to you having a better understanding of what's happening in your current situation, whatever that situation may be for you. But in reality, there's a sleight of hand. It's almost like they know something major is coming your way. They want to distract you and have you in an area where they have easy access to you to benefit off of whatever that energy is that you're emanating. Okay, so if you feel weird, if you keep feeling like some type of energy is behind you, or whenever this person's around, you might be tolerating them. Maybe they're friends through other friends, and you try to not seem uncool with them, but something about their energy just feels off. Like it's not totally what they say it is. And that's because they're hiding something behind the curtain, and they're trying to trick you with a sleight of hand at the same time. Okay, see what I'm saying? We're getting that energy of like a setup again. This energy keeps coming back for the collective. So someone is either not heeding it completely, or it's like you're kind of hard-headed and you keep needing to be told in different ways. But your own intuition, this isn't about putting you in a fear-based mentality. Your own instincts and intuition are telling you, screaming at you, yo, don't go that way. Yes, there's something coming towards you that you shouldn't ignore, but you need to pay attention to how that thing is dressed up or how it's supposed to come in. For example, you get a promotion, right? What about that promotion feels right to you? Like, does it feel like you should take that offer? Should you just take it simply because it's being handed to you? Or should you evaluate to make sure that it's what you truly want? That it's something that's really meant for you, and it's not somebody putting you in a compromising position so that when shit hits the fan, guess who gets blamed? When it all falls down, guess who gets yelled at? Notice that this is Humpty Dumpty, right? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's men and all the king horses couldn't put Humpty together again. Notice Humpty is screaming at Alice like, don't do it. Don't go through that door. Hey, I made the mistake. Don't do the same thing I made. So somebody is around you, or there's an energy around you that's trying to warn you something's not right here. Something's going to fall apart, and you don't need to be in the vicinity where this energy takes place. It's actually feeling quite it's feeling quite dark. It's feeling quite dark. It's like this person or this being could be a guardian of yours, trying to warn you, maybe sending you warnings in dreams. Perhaps you keep having things fall around you. Be mindful of that, especially when it's pictures. A lot of times pictures falling, especially of specific people, have certain meanings behind them. It's going to translate different to each culture, which is why it's important for you to tap in to an inner knowing and an inner instinct to understand which one may be for you. Because culture aside, things happen for a reason. There are no coincidences. There's a series of events that take place that lead to another event. And sometimes your interpretation or your personal mental block prevents you from seeing what it really is. Something's meant to fall apart. Okay, look at this. Notice that this was like a pillar. It's a wall, but it's like a pillar. There's an energy or a event that's holding you in high regard, and there's somebody plotting when it comes to that. And maybe you're being offered something that you need to think about before you just take it. And or there's a genuine gift coming in. There's a whole new discovery coming in. However, you need to be mindful of how you're being led to that so-called discovery, right? If you're taking a trip, how are you being moved to take the trip versus how someone else tells you should take it? Because all of that matters here. Something feels like a setup. Okay, and again, I keep hearing this sleight of hand, sleight of hand. I'm getting the same vibe from the Eight of Pentacles. Someone might be trying to get you to bind yourself to them to some capacity, be it spiritually or through some type of project or connection, but I feel like they would take all the credit for your hard work. You would be the person doing the hard work, and should something go wrong, you would be the individual taking the fall. They would simply take the credit. I'm also hearing don't sip. If somebody tries to get you to drink something, especially a person whose energy you don't rock with, don't drink it. Listen to your instincts. Listen to your higher self when it tells you something's off. Separate it from fear and opinion. Okay, because sometimes something that looks really terrifying actually ain't, right? Sometimes things that look like they're dressed in gold, all the glitter ain't gold, boo-boo. You need to know the difference here. We have spirit, star power. See what I'm talking about? And there's the pillar. You're coming into a higher vibrational energy. It may take you a minute to adapt to this. All right. It's not that some of you don't already know what you're capable of, but you're more capable than you think. However, you can't be naive about these energies. You can't on one hand be a person that's so quick to believe when it benefits you and when it goes along with an idea you have, and then disregard the other half of it. It's kind of like when people think that there's only rainbows and clouds, right? And they tend to neglect the storm. Or those who believe there's only the storm, and they tend to neglect paradise. Both are real. Both are tangible. Both are a thing. Okay? And if you belittle one, you're disregarding and belittling the other, whether you realize it or not. There's a gift waking up in you that I feel like some of you don't think that you're either fully capable of, or maybe some of you might get a little conceited with, and that's going to make it easy for someone to come in and prey on that. Prey on this energy. The fact that we have star power, light worker. Someone wants the attention and the recognition that you're about to receive, but you're receiving it for a higher purpose. This isn't just like, oh, I got famous, I got Insta famous or some bull crap like that. No. This is genuinely being somebody who has a lot of wisdom that can help free others, and a person who doesn't want you to do it. So they're trying to trick you to go behind the wrong curtain. Okay, I'm hoping this is making sense to y'all. Then we have light worker right here where Humpty Dumpty's tower, he's falling off of this pillar and this wall, right? All the king's men, all the king's horsemen couldn't put Humpty together again, right? It's like somebody wants to drain your light and use it for their benefit. And should you not cooperate, they don't want you to be so easy to tap into that. Some of you might have been raised in a setting where you could always sense your spiritual gifts, and somebody always tried to make you suppress them, right? A lot of times it's a mixed thing. For some people, it'll make you suppress it because they themselves don't understand how to teach you to use it. So they're afraid of it. And they're afraid of what may be attracted to you. But here's the thing, and you could be someone doing this to a child of your own or a person that you know. You making the person suppress the ability doesn't make the ability go away. Nothing can take these abilities from you. You simply are in a position to acknowledge it and help it expand and grow, or you're not. And when you make somebody close off their gifts because of your fear, instead of helping them know how to control it, they're very vulnerable to other energies. You're not protecting no one. You're simply putting them in a position where other people will feel this star power, this light work energy, and go, oh, since they don't know nothing, I can tell them whatever I want to, or I can come in like I'm the perfect ally, but I'm really the fucking devil waiting to take their opportunity. You get what I'm saying? And that devil energy is very intense. I keep feeling like, and I'm going to do another reading on this, I keep feeling like Cancer season and Capricorn season are collaborating somehow. Energetically, the seasons and the Capricorn energy and the Cancer energy, somewhere there's a collaboration for some of y'all. Capricorn energy can be boss energy, but a lot of times it is associated with the devil card in the tarot, right? Well, it is associated with the devil card in the tarot. So it can also mean that there's entrapments and manipulation and different things going on. It could also mean that there's a wilder side of yourself that you need to tap into. Not necessarily a wicked side of self, just a wilder, I go for what I need to go for type side that you might need to activate. And there's an energy coming around that's trying to snuff it out. The Cancer energy can be very caring. However, Cancer can also be extremely sensitive to things. So you might find your sensitivity to the spiritual realm expanding and different energies coming in to manipulate that, and you have to boss up. And again, suppressing doesn't make it go away, and it doesn't keep certain, powers to be from fucking with you, for lack of a better term. Now you're just oblivious. And then please understand that this feels very spiritual. So don't waste your time comparing this to political, and not that those things sometimes don't have their placement and shit, but this is something that you need to understand on a spiritual level, because spirit supersedes all of that. That's material. And then that's what I mean when I say I'm picking up on this energy. Like, sometimes some of you are so quick to be spiritual, neglect the physical. Physical, neglect the spiritual. One's eternal. The other, when it goes through cycles and it collapses on itself and regrow, it can come up in different forms, and everybody forgets what the hell they knew just 100 years ago. And those who remember end up being in the position to reteach. There's something about you needing to listen to your soul more than you're listening to just the earthly logical mind. Okay, more so tapping into the divine feminine essence. This is even if you're a masculine, tapping into the divine feminine essence to understand and intuitively feel when things are shifting and moving in a certain direction, because you have the power to do so, but you haven't been doing so. Okay, I'm being told to go to the next tarot before we move on to these circular cards. We have the Two of Wands, Four of Wands. You see this here? You see how Alice is sitting here with the, piece on her head, and she's holding the world, and this person is looking over to the side like he has no idea how she got in that position. Like, oh, I don't know what she's sitting there for. It's like a setup. I'm going to put you in this position that seems so important, or this position that you think is open for you, and really you're taking someone else's spot, or someone else is going to be jealous of you sitting here, and I can make it look like you're behind everything and I don't know nothing. I have no idea how you got in that position. Who put her there? I don't know how she got there. And then this person will be screaming off with her head, because who is she to think she could sit in my seat? It's like some of you could be going through this at work. Sometimes at work there'll be a manager or a supervisor that's lazy. You come in, you're bright, you know how to maneuver things, your wisdom shows. So they start having you do their job, but you're not getting paid their salary. You're doing their work, but you're not getting paid their salary. And when stuff hits the fan, they can go, oh, I asked so-and-so to do that, but I didn't know that they were going to do it to that extent, or I didn't know, they'll play boo-boo the fool. And then you'll be sitting here with the events falling on you. Something's trying to save you from that kind of issue in a sense, or warn you. This doesn't have to just be work related. I'm using work because, well, it's channeling for some of you, but also I just think it's easier sometimes for people to resonate with, right? But there's something to that. And we do have a card that represents work here as well. They could be trying to get you to participate in practices that you shouldn't be involved in. How many times have I been picking up that energy for the collective of people trying to... They could dress this up as something that you've been raised to think is acceptable, right? Let's say, and this is for example's sake, because some people out here are doing this. They could dress up their practices, their spiritual practices, as Christianity or whatever other thing, right? But that's not what it is. That's just not what it is. That's what they dress it up as. So then you come and you sit at that church, or you sit at that ceremony, and you don't know who they're talking to or what they're talking to, because you got involved thinking it was the same old that you're used to dealing with. You could be moved. Somebody could be trying to get you to come to a church or come to some type of gathering, some event, and you just keep having this feeling of, even though that event sounds cool and all on the surface, my gut is like, don't go there. Humpty's like screaming, some shit's gonna fall apart. You don't need to be a part of it. Your name don't need to be associated with it. Leave it alone. But a part of you is like, oh, it can't be that bad. I mean, sure, I feel weird about it, but I don't have any evidence as to why I feel weird about it. There's all kind of evidence around you. The way that this person's pushy about it. The way that, whatever this is for you, I don't care if it's work, if it's a spiritual practice place. For some of you, a lot of spiritual energy is at play here. It doesn't feel right. And there's a reason it doesn't feel right. And you need to evaluate within yourself what that reason is. Is it just a fear? Right? Is it just your opinion because you were raised a certain way? Or is it the person that's trying to get you to tag along, or the energies that's trying to get you to participate? I wouldn't be shocked if this is like, for example, sometimes in other countries, solicitors will approach foreigners and try to get them involved in cults, but they'll make it look like it's something else. Like, oh, this is just an event for something basic. Oh, this is just a wedding event. Oh, this is just whatever. But come to find out, you go with some other shit, right? That you weren't prepared to see, you weren't prepared to be a part of. We have versions of that here in this country, and a lot of times they'll use spirituality and religion as the dress up. Oh, it's just us going to Sunday mass, but who are you serving? What Lord are you speaking to? You see what I'm saying? There's a reason that you're feeling defensive, like you don't want to be a part of a conflict. There's a reason that a person's energy feels really combative to you, almost like it's taunting you. Somebody could legit be taunting you, like, oh, well, why? What, are you scared? Like, I'm getting almost like going through a haunted house kind of vibe. Like, oh, what, are you scared? You're afraid of what's in there? It's just shadows. This isn't real, or that isn't real. Or are you afraid to tap into your gifts and blah blah blah? Like, they're fear mongering you. I just repeated that like a glitch. I feel like when this person talks to you, you hear a glitch. Maybe nobody else does, but you hear a glitch in their speech when they talk to you. You can't make that up. Look at that. The Dark Lord. I'm going to say this. The image used for the big S man, okay? That image was something totally different. It was a complete different God. It was a complete different situation. Here's the problem. In many cases, when people start their so-called research and they're looking into things and they find out, oh, this thing was demonized, but really it was a good thing, or really it was a neutral thing. So that must mean everything in this one book or every little section of this must have been wrong. No, what you have is a person coming in and stealing some ish, rewriting the energies and using the energies in a way that benefits them, and then teaching it to you without fucking context. And then you run off and you do your little research, which is cute for some of you. I have to be blunt. It's cute, but you don't research far enough. You research to the point that you think makes sense. Not the point that you were led to look, but the point that you feel like, yeah, well, that makes more sense. It's like people do this with Lilith a lot. The energy of Lilith is a very powerful energy, right? And it was demonized over time. However, when a group of people start to focus on an energy in a certain way, while it may not manipulate the initial first being, it does invent a being. There is a being that will feed off of that. Every low vibrational creature comes off of some type of emotion or unchecked mental state or energy, because energy never dies. It only becomes something different. And now that thing that was so gracious and so loving becomes wicked and twisted. It all depends on your interpretation of how you use it, and whether or not you understand that that being can possibly pedal back and forth like that. It all depends. So yes, you have people who have come in and they've rewritten some stuff, and you have people who've come in and just bold-faced lied at times. But you also have individuals that when they start learning the truth, they only accept the truth for as far as what they believe to be believable. So if they're a victim of being misunderstood, then they'll take every misunderstood being and all of a sudden act like they're just all good and they were just all misunderstood. And then you'll get involved in a practice that's actually practicing either a manipulative version of that energy, or again, it ain't who you thought it was. Somebody's praying to something thinking it's one thing, and it's not. It's not. Now the person fooling you, the person putting the cloak over your eye, the person who's saying, look behind this curtain. No. Don't choose the curtain that you were initially going to pick. Choose the one that I'm telling you to pick. It's the better road. They know exactly who they're talking to. They know exactly what type of forces they're dealing with. Notice I kept saying church, and you have church down here. I don't feel like it's the church of the big S man himself. It's more like it's other beings and deities that have wicked sides to them. And depending on how you approach them, and depending on how certain pacts are made with them, depends on how they're going to treat your ass. You can't play around with that stuff. You can't believe one minute, be disbelieving the next minute, because the consequences don't care about your personal belief system. That's your own brain. Only your mind cares about what you invest in and what you don't. The energies around you are going to do what they're going to do. And you're either a beacon for that or you're not. And somebody is trying to use your gifts and your talent and your light for something wicked. It may not look that way. It could be dressed up as something career based. But it's like they're dragging you. No. You have to come. You have to go. You have to sit here. Oh, don't worry about so-and-so looking at you all jealous and all mad. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? Question of the time, isn't it? That's why you're being told to boss up. The devil lately has had double meanings. Be careful of the devil in disguise, the devil being in the detail, but also, are you activating the inner part of you that's a boss and knows when it's being played? It knows when something's off. And be mindful of your temperament, because if it's one thing about Capricorn, if it's one thing about the goat, their temper can be a problem if they don't have it under check. Somebody could try to get you to act out in a very public setting, and then everyone's against you, and you'll be sitting there feeling all defeated because you lost your cool and put yourself in a position you didn't need to be in. This is affecting your health, or could be affecting the health of someone near you. I brought this up before on a live. You could be allergic to this person. That's the thing. Being allergic to people, I know some of y'all thought that was a joke. It's a thing. It actually comes from a thing. You might break out in hives when you're around this person, or you just feel really anxious, uncomfortable, a little nauseous. Much like how people get when there's a negative entity in a space. They feel itchy, they feel nauseous, can't focus, the mind gets foggy all of a sudden. They be fine until this one person comes around. They go to the doctor, they get checked out, they're fine. This one person comes around and all these other issues start coming to the surface. That's why you need to be mindful of not only your energy but your physical health here, because if this person takes you out of balance, they knock everything else off. That one thing going out of balance can knock everything else off. There could be some type of either this person is trying to bind themselves to you, or there's already like a karmic plot twist here. I was led to go to the past life deck. This is for this one. Let's see what we have. Ice disaster. Blizzard is the one that's standing out to me. You know that expression, breaking the ice? This person's energy isn't like maybe a part of your normal friend group. And I said something like that earlier, where I'm like, even if this is a person you know through other people, and maybe you were introduced to them as like, oh, to break the ice. Nah, this is a disaster. This is a blizzard. This is something that you think you're just trying to get to know this person, and as that ice begins to melt and break, you realize that there's cold waters under your feet and that they can just freeze you over in the deep. It's like they're trying to drag you down to the sunken place or something like that. In a past life, a winter might have been shared with this energy. Something about the cold freaks some of you out. Maybe there's a cold that comes over your body when this person's around. Like you get this chill. Not a good chill. There's good chill and bad chill. You get like a bad chill with this person. We have lower class, poverty, famine. The one that's really standing out to me is lower class. And this looks like a child. This individual naturally makes people feel beneath them. Something about a look or a stare. They play on the fact that you're not as experienced in your gifts as you believe you are. Some of you believe that you are, right? But my expression is still something to take note of, and that is, to know everything is to know nothing, and to know nothing is to know everything. Sometimes you have to return back to a state of forgetting what you thought you knew in order to really process the new information that's coming in without bias, views or opinions added to it. When you absolutely think at all times that you know, you miss the red flags because in your brain you'll peep them, but you're not. Somebody who is gifted here, who does have the ability to see, isn't seeing everything, but likes to believe that they are. So when an instinct comes in that goes against what you already have the ability to see, you kind of combat yourself on the inside about it. Or for some of you, you don't want to seem scared, right? You always hear people say that. I can be honest in telling you that it gets annoying whenever you're giving somebody the heads up of something and they're like, oh, I don't want to move in fear. Who the hell told you to move in fear? So you think being prepared and knowing what you're dealing with is moving in fear instead of being smart? Like, it gets annoying because y'all get mixed up in some crap that you'll be running to every single cleanser you can think of, and you'll run into some bad ones. You'll run into some ones that'll give you a little bit of help to keep you on the look so they can keep draining that money. Then you'll look at the whole community like it's a problem. Like, oh, now the whole community's an issue because you fell for something out of desperation, or you fell for something because you thought you knew it all. It's not telling you to act like you don't understand what you've come to understand. But when something new is coming in and you can't seem to compare it to anything you know already, put what you thought you knew out of your mind and really ask your guides, why are you pointing this out to me? What is this about? Let me remove all the stuff that could get in the way and fog up my judgment so that I'm really understanding what you're showing me in real time. Then you can, you may not be able to avoid people like this coming around you, but you can avoid interacting with them. You can have such a strong, solid understanding that when they try to even mess with this, they learn real quick you ain't the one. But some of you are more vulnerable than you understand you are. And for those who are completely new to their gifts, there's a certain level of vulnerability in not only your naivety, but your willfulness to sometimes think that you have it all together, that it's all in check. but yet you keep getting the same messages in your dreams and the same messages when you check out readings. It's not about whether or not the person you're listening to is completely accurate to you. It's about what is the repetitive message that you keep hearing. Why are you hearing it that way? Is it really just your subconscious from some fear long ago, right? Or is this something telling you that while you may have never met this person before in this life, that you have a feeling that you know this person's a blizzard, they're a disaster, there's something cold about them. They look at people as beneath them or tools that they can use. And you feel like maybe it's been personal for you before. That could be due to a past life, or that could be your instincts telling you get away from this person. They're no good. Secret agenda. Secret agenda. Notice how she looks like she's dressed from the 1920s. So you could be resonating with let me read the times that I'm seeing. For this reading, this feels like late 1700s. Right here. So I would say 17. Let me give you specific numbers. Write them down. They could resonate as something else later, or maybe you should look up info of that year. Maybe there's some type of family history tied to it. You can also take them down to the single digit. It could be life path numbers. Numerology plays a part in messages here. But this could be like 1775 to maybe 1798. This is looking like 1925. I just heard go back away, spirit. 1925, 1923. Between 1923 and 1925. Those are significant. Maybe you keep seeing that style. Maybe you're into like a vintage style. You never really knew why. You just thought, oh, I just like it, but it feels more comfortable to you than modern wear. They keep making me look at her style specifically too. And they're having me look at it like it's upper class. I'm seeing the video, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now, what will it be? In that video, she goes through different times. And in one of them, she's in an outfit like this. She actually has an outfit in that video that's from the 1700s, but more I think like the mid 1700s. I'm going by the fashion here. But for this, there's something about parties, like parties from the 1920s. Perhaps you've been led to research something, or you had a dream like that. We're going to leave that where it is and move on. Accomplishments, like I said. This person knows that you're going to be able to achieve something great. Remember, we had star power and we have celebrity over here now. Whether it's you turning into a bit of a celebrity, you know, or whether it's just you reaching an accomplishment where you get a lot of recognition. These are two, this is a referee and this looks like a boxer, right? Or a fighter in a ring. The victorious one in the ring. But the question is, who put you in the ring? And what is it that you're getting accomplishments for? There are important things that you're meant to do. There's a path for you that is very divine and very sacred, and someone's trying to intercede in that path and draw you away from where you really belong, where you'll really be stable. Get you to attend something you shouldn't be at. And there's another energy, an ancestor, a person. Someone's trying to warn you about this, but it feels like you haven't been listening, and now something health related is going on. Headaches, fatigue, hard to breathe. Asthma acting up more than usual, and look, we have abuse. This person abuses their authority. If you've been feeling like you shouldn't be alone with this person, stop that I don't want to move in fear bullshit and realize that that's your energy telling you that there's something wrong with this individual. If this is someone trying to hit on you, like, interesting that they had me use that wording. If this is somebody that's trying to holler at you, oh, I'm into the same things you're into. Oh, I'm enlightened too. Oh, Kundalini rising. Nothing wrong with those energies. But people will come to you disguised as what they think you know to trick you. This is a trickster's energy. That's what this is. The more I read it, the more I look at it, I'm seeing a trickster. Someone who changes face, changes mask. They're not just neutral. It'd be different if they were just a neutral energy. Then it's about maybe how you maneuver to resonate. But this person's intentionally doing this. They're intentionally trying to trick you to go behind the wrong curtain so that you miss out. Because it takes us right back here. With her bent down, which leaves her back exposed, by the way, trying to go through here, she's missing the coin hanging right above her head. Where are you going? Hey, but by the way, the coin is here. In the traditional sense, this would be the gate, the doorway that you need to walk through. Notice how there's another door over here, though? So here's a door here. Here's this archway. And she's so curious about the one that's open because look how sunny and pretty it looks out there. Perhaps you're meant to go through this door. Or perhaps something's going to come to this door and grab you when you try to enter here. But the coin you needed was above your head the whole time. In other words, what you were looking for was already in your pocket or already with you. And someone's trying to make you think that you have to go somewhere else for it. Or look somewhere else to someone else for it. Guidance is fine. There's nothing wrong with guidance. You have it for a reason. If you call yourself listening to your ancestors, baby, that's guidance. If you're following a command of a deity, guidance is all guidance. But you have to have enough discernment to realize when something is bullshit. When something don't add up. 2 plus 2 ain't equaling 4 here. What's going on? The fact that 2 came out in 4 and then a 5, 2, 4, 5 is significant. There's significantness to these numbers. There's significantness to this energy here. Somebody will act like they're so happy of your accomplishments and then try to take advantage of those accomplishments. And if you get too comfortable and let your guard down too much, they'll abuse the relationship you give them. Whether it might turn physical or whether it's just, oh, I'm now your friend, your lover, or whatever. So now I'm going to abuse that position by acting like if you don't do things I tell you to do, you're not really my friend. You're not really, you get what I mean? It's like they taunt you. And you feel defeated by that taunt. Something's telling you to defend yourself by staying away from this energy, putting your protection up, especially as it starts to affect health here. What did I say from the very beginning of this reading? From the very beginning of this reading. There's a magic in you that this person wants access to, and they can't get it no other way but through you. And the only person that can give them permission to do it is you, whether this be subconsciously or otherwise. So they're trying to make sure that you are as slow on the uptake as possible. You could be dealing with like a dark wizard type vibe here, somebody who practices the dark arts. And if it's somebody who practices that tradition from around the 1700s, then problem. That means that they're not practicing some watered down version of nothing. Some of this content that, no, I'm not going to tell. I don't tell people Google's not going to tell you everything. Google's going to give you sometimes a crap ton of information, which you still need to use your discernment to go through either way. But a lot of times it's going to put the weird or propaganda base in front of you before the real. This is somebody that probably has actual books. They might have even shown them to you. But you don't know what those books are. You don't know what you're holding. You don't know what you're looking at. They do. And they bank on the fact that you don't know. All you have is your instincts telling you, don't pick that up. Don't go in that back room. You don't need to be back there. This isn't about fear. It's about common sense. I don't know why Spirit always has to move me to tell the collective I'm talking to that. We have fire disaster. So much disaster around this person's name. This feels like your temper. Somebody here is Capricorn, or you work with the energy of Capricorn. All the zodiacs play in your makeup. All of them. Not just when you're in the season of them. They just all do. And somebody right now, regardless of your sun sign, moon, rising, and etc., there's a lot of Capricorn influence in your energy right now. Forget your chart for all the 2 seconds, because I can already hear somebody wanting to preach about their chart. I quite frankly don't give a damn. The energy of Capricorn is around you heavy, and working within you heavy. And while that can be a great energy to utilize when you need to boss up, especially when you need to tap into some type of prosperity and growth, cool. But someone's trying to get you to be temperamental, easy to snap, easy to explode, easy to possibly become violent, and then they can sort of respond in kind, because remember, the energy you put out is the energy you get back. So if you put out too much aggression, you tend to get a lot of aggression back. If you put out too much anxiety, something comes along to complement the anxiety. All forms of energy is feeding something. We can give it a name, we cannot give it a name. Most things given a name were given their names for a reason. I'm not going to bullshit you about that. But at the end of the day, somebody here is like it's almost as if you're this beacon, like this light pole standing in the middle of a desert, and everything is just drawn to you right now. And so you really need to be paying attention to when your instincts is working in collaboration with your intuition and saying, yo, not here, not there, not that person. Nope. Let's go somewhere else. Oh, well, I don't want to go alone. Too fucking bad. We're going to go alone because this person shouldn't be with us. Get what I'm saying? Wild West. Some of you could live out west or Midwest. Wherever you may live, whatever country, there's something about the west of where you are. Some of you may come from like farmer background. Farming runs in your family. A part of that light work energy could be you heal when you're around nature, and you're healing when you're around people. You just have this energy that picks them up, heals them. There's a past life that could have involved not necessarily the Wild West for some of you, but just the West, like being out in the old country West. And again, this is no matter where you live or what country, because I am getting the feeling of countries. And then we have use technology. Technological disaster. I said that word all kinds of weird. The abuse of technology. Notice there's abuse again. Abuse of power, because technology is considered power. Somebody abuses their power. There's more here. Yeah, someone's abusing their power. And they're trying to make you feel like you have to do what they tell you to do. But they're dressing, I feel like they gaslight you a bit when you don't do what they want. And for many of you, you may not know this person well enough for them to be acting that way towards you. So you're kind of not understanding why you're so responsive to it. But that's because there could be a karmic connection to this individual, a negative one. Karma by itself is a neutral energy. But karmic ties and binds a lot of times involve shit that you need to free yourself from. There's good karma and bad karma, but this person's karma is no good. There's something about the ice here. I'm picking up, oh God, look. There it is again, the tower. I'm trying to, and didn't I just say you're like a beacon? Towers are like beacons and they get struck by lightning. This is, this feels like, this doesn't feel like just someone jumping from the tower. Look at the energy around this. This is like somebody being zapped or drained of a lot of power. That's why Humpty's like, get the fuck out of here. You don't belong here. Get gone. Get going. Look at how he has the camera in his hand, but he also has the stake, and he's like looking around. He already know some dangerous stuff is going on, but he's refusing to. You know, that's the energy I'm picking up for. I understand it's Buffy. I know what all the episodes and whatnot are, but we're not focused on that. He feels like he's going to investigate something he should leave alone. And the thing about this type of energy is once it gets to the point that it wants to get to the bottom of something and know it, you can't tell them no. They just keep going and going. There's something about you needing to really run the opposite direction of this energy. It's not telling you that you can't defend yourself if you really needed to defend yourself. But some of y'all are just like, I'm a 10 fake because I ain't never scared and blah, blah, blah. All right. That's on you. There are things you're meant to slay, and there are some things you're just meant to leave alone. Be it because you're not prepared yet, or be it because it's just not your job. It's not your mission to do. But when fire starts to blaze, sometimes it don't know how to tone itself down. And the fact that we already have your temperament being an issue, this is the night that when they lose their temper, you can't tell them nothing. They just blast through everything. And that can be counterproductive. You're being given a clear indicator of what you need to do. And if you don't feel you've had it yet, meditate on it, because you're being given a clear indicator of what you need to do. There's something righteous within some of y'all that this person wants to take advantage of. I'm not getting righteousness in the sense of like, oh, they feel so righteous. I'm getting it more like, again, that divine path. Some of you may not understand what that is fully for yourself yet, but this energy does. This energy is paying attention. There's a spark in you and it wants it. Or they want, I'm going to say it, because whoever this is ain't totally what they seem to be. We have the Hierophant. This person could be pretending to be a mentor to you, but you're really the person elevating to a position of one day being a mentor. They could be trying to tempt your faith. And I'm not just talking about faith in a religion or a God or a particular thing like that, just your faith in general. Like, play on it and pretend that, oh, it's because I just have more knowledge in it than you do. Yes, some of us know things that isn't common knowledge and we're meant to teach it. But this person, what they teach you now, it's not only that it doesn't feel right, which we could just brush off as, okay, that's your upbringing. It's like when people pull the book out, right? And they'll make all these quotes about why they think tarot's a sin, because they didn't take the 2 seconds to learn where it's from, or the different layers that contribute to it, right? They don't even know that there are church symbols on, say, the Rider-Waite tarot. They don't know that. They just assume devil card, hangman, evil, okay? However, when they approach you to tell you how you're supposedly sinning, they do it as a sin. You know, that whole thou shall not judge, but they're judging the fuck out of you, right? You should love your neighbor. They hate you. You should respect their decisions, even if the decision isn't like your own. They are madly obsessed with trying to dictate your behavior to you. If you paid attention to how this person responds to situations, it doesn't match the book or the word that they're giving you. And again, there may be some type of church. It doesn't have to be Christianity, though, or any form of that. But it's something that they've dressed up to look like it's holier than what it is. It's actually quite wicked. I'm picking up on an energy that I picked up on before. It was 2 people. That was like 2 years ago. And I would really hope that those energies had freed themselves from something like this by now. We have the Queen of Pentacles. This doesn't feel like you. This feels like someone trying to help you. Maybe not a mother, but someone who has a nourishing vibe comes around you. And maybe when this person comes around you, this other individual backs off. Y'all are legit dealing with some crazy shit right now. I'm not even gonna bull. 2 of Pentacles. This person really tries to confuse you. Look what's back again. This person is really trying to confuse you, really trying to draw you into conflict you don't need to be a part of, but at the same time, make you feel defeated. Like, if you didn't do what I said to do, well, you're going to feel defeated because something you want ain't going to pay off, or I'm going to just gaslight you. It's something to that. Maybe make you fall out with people that you should be trusting. There may be a person warning you about this individual, and you're not brushing them off totally, but you're not listening either. You're not trying to listen because you're going into that whole, I don't want to be scared, or whatever this is. One more time, we're going to go to Joey's Spiritual Warfare deck. And then we're going to look into the shadow to see what makes you even accessible to this bull right now. With that 2 of Pentacles, I'm getting confusion. And remember I said Kundalini earlier? I consider the 2 of Pentacles to be very much tied to the Kundalini energy. And it's like someone's trying to stop you from getting your energy to rise. Like cut you halfway off. Or manipulate you. And if this is someone trying to be your lover, whoo, child, don't lay with this person. If you think you already have, go cleanse immediately and do not lay with this person no more. Because this is just, no. We have music, sound frequency. I'm hearing this, I'm being cautious in how much I say here, because what I'm seeing is so specific, but at the same time it's something one would have to tread lightly with, because not all energy is so easily understood by people. You could be a musical person yourself, or there's something about your voice when you talk, how you make people feel when you speak, the vibration that your vocals give off. This person's trying to take advantage of that, and they're also trying to use their voice against you. So it's something about the power of voice here. Like maybe sometimes when this person talks to you, you feel like you're almost going into like a state of hypnosis almost. If they sing, they might have a really pretty voice, but you feel like you can't explain it. Something's off with them. Fireworks are going off in the background as I say this. People are shooting off fireworks. You can't make it up. Can't make it up. This person's voice, the sound of them, the vibration of them feels foul. They're something else. They're not what they appear to be. I don't care if they appear human. They're something else. Either that or something else is working through them. And they're greedy. It even says it here. This person will throw you under the bus, put you in a position where you look like you're getting all this praise and stuff, and like you're on the right path and all this other jazz, and then somebody shows up and goes, who's this sitting in my position? Oh, I don't know how they got there, and you're the sacrificial lamb. You're the person that gets thrown under the bus. You're the person that gets thrown into the situation, which could make you snap, because some of y'all, you really don't be scared. The most twisted of things could appear before you, and you like, all right, bet, let's box. Some things you don't box with, some things you leave alone. The fact that a card, the accomplishment card, had a boxer on it. Some of y'all not meant to throw hands with these people. You just meant to leave the situation alone. What's the shadow here? Yeah, y'all ancestors are really trying to get y'all. Really trying to get y'all to see what's happening. Somebody else is really trying to get you to pay attention, and you've been ignoring them. And that part is on you. I don't sugarcoat with stuff like this. I just don't. You ignoring somebody that's genuinely trying to watch out for you, that is on you. If this person actually succeeded in you being at odds with this person who had a more nourishing and protecting energy, who's still willing to hop on the train and ride through hell itself to save you if they had to. But how much longer is somebody going to stay in that energy if you keep disrespecting them? You could be this for someone else. I'm reading the message how it comes in. Take what resonates to you, and whatever triggers you, ask yourself why. Why is it triggering? The shadow part's revealing it here. You owe me attitude. That's the attitude they carry with you. And for some of you, this is in response to you yourself carrying this energy at some point. There might have been people that you've helped, or people who you just thought owed you for some reason. And quite frankly, either they didn't, or it didn't matter that they never paid you anything back, because you could have disconnected from that energy and kept moving. You chose to keep indulging. Now in comes a person who's seeing the inner light that you have, but just like they see the inner light, they see the dark part too. Wicked shit don't lie to you all the time. What it'll do is it'll take bits and pieces of the truth, show that to you first to get you to be accessible, and then comes the manipulation and the twist, the plot twist to the story. Oh, but didn't you feel entitled? Isn't that why your friends left you? Because you play on all those little insecurities. Feed the ego. Feed it up. Make it as conceited as possible. And then when you start snapping and acting out, it's going to be, oh, well, that was on you because you decided to yell at so-and-so. Didn't you get into a fight with blah, blah, blah? I don't know why I'm hearing the word Marsha. I'm hearing Marsha. Maybe the Brady Bunch plays a part in this, or someone's name is Marsha, Marshall. Learn to stop expecting others to give you things that you can do for yourself, and you will accomplish so much more. Somebody here, for a really long time, your issue whether you would identify it as entitlement, was feeling like, okay, but so-and-so was supposed to help me with and do this, that, and the third. I am not telling you to not rely on genuine people. What I am telling you is that you need to pay attention, and you haven't been. And somebody's been trying to help you, and you've been kind of ignoring them. And there is a lot of ancestral protection around you, but you got to open your ears to hear it. Forget what you thought you knew. Forget it. Open your mind to understand what you're being taught now. If what you used to know still matters, it'll pop back up when it's supposed to. But in order for you to fully understand a message like this, you have to be willing to see it from perspectives that you would have otherwise ignored and brushed off. Okay? Not easily satisfied or pleased. See what I'm saying? Nitpicking, complaint, judgmental, difficult. Some of y'all know y'all shadow side. You don't need nobody to tell you what it is. You know it. Well, it's being pointed out to you for a reason, because this person is piggybacking on it. Everything that is an insecurity in you is a strength in them, in the sense that they know how to manipulate you with it. So if there's something that you are entitled about, something that you feel judgmental about, everybody might have a moment sometimes where they judge something a bit. But for some of you, you take it into overdrive, mainly because you might have thought you knew something that you don't know much about. So you were quick to just have a snap opinion. Y'all do it with music all the time. Music artists all the time. So-and-so must be blah, 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 blah. So I've literally sat and watched some of you praise the most wicked above the wicked. And the ones that are actually like decent people, you judge harsh as shit. But you didn't take the 2 seconds necessary to see the truth. Because literally, it would have only took you 2 seconds. Because somebody's popular, because someone's a faith. Well, the same way that happens with the trolley internet, it happens in people's everyday life. Where do you think it's inspired from? Where do you think different industries and entities get the inspiration to put people in such compromising positions? They use the current world that they've molded around them. And that involves you, the average person, or at least you think you're average, going about life thinking you're doing the average thing. When you come up against a conflict, a challenge, your response to it, oh, they just sitting down there charting down every single one of them to see which one of you it can be easily manipulated. When somebody teaches you to hide your light out of fear, instead of teaching you, hey, sometimes be cautious with who you tell certain things to. Some people don't need to know what you're capable of until it's time for you to really make a move to show it. This video popped up in this channeling. I didn't even watch it. I just saw the caption, and it said, the top part of it said shut up, and it showed Tyler Perry talking, and then there were subtitles playing on the video, and it said something like, let people underestimate you. Let them think you don't know. Let them think you're oblivious. When it is time to do what you need to do, it'll be done, and then they'll be wiser after the fact. And there's no way for them to try to intercede or interject in your shit, because they're going to already think you don't know nothing. Some of you might have gotten around a person where, because of that entitlement part of the shadow, or because of, sometimes being a bit cynical or a bit whatever, like you've let some things slip out that shouldn't have slipped out in those moments of vulnerability. And this person was sitting right next to somebody or this entity and was eating it up. Gobble, gobble, gobble. So that they could pop up later and utilize it against you. Be mindful of what you're listening to and the voices in your ear. People talking to you, things that they're telling you. I'm not talking about mudras and mantras and all of that. I'm talking about somebody just being very particular. You should listen to this very specific song, but again, this is a person that you already feel like you shouldn't trust. So why are you listening to things that they tell you to listen to? Like, what are we talking about at this point? Suppressing desires and feelings and impulses. You can't make it up. We just before this card came out, we were talking about your gifts being suppressed. Someone making you feel like you should hide yourself, therefore putting you in positions where sometimes you feel old for things. Not that you may not be, but how you operate from an energy and how you translate an energy is so significant. I didn't expect you guys' readings to be this long. I'm gonna cut this here, but there are countries that I feel are standing out. Norway feels significant. Iceland feels significant. Spain. I feel like the west regions of a lot of the places I'm mentioning are significant. San Francisco. I'm seeing other places in California, but I don't recognize the landscape. But it's in California. It's not LA. It's not San Diego. It's something else. I just don't recognize the structure, but I can tell that that's California. So West Coast is significant. Like I said, for a lot of people, the Midwest is significant in the US for a lot of people. Romania is significant. When I looked at her, that's what I heard, Romania. So maybe one of you favors this girl and you're Romanian. Turkey's been channeling in a lot, especially with Göbekli Tepe. I haven't covered that yet. Beyond my Insta stories. You just need to get away from this energy. There's no if, there's no but. The decision is yours. What you do is up to you and solely up to you. Nobody else can make you do anything. You're in control of yourself when it comes to that. This energy is no good. And I'm being told we should stop here as it is. The solution is before you. Pulling back from this person, being mindful of your tempers, tapping into your gifts, let go of what you thought you understood about them so that you can be open to the new things you need to understand about them. Whatever from the old needs to be revisited, or whatever from the old still can contribute, it'll flow seamlessly in as it's meant to. They keep having me have this moment of silence, like moment of breath, like moment of really digesting. There's no need for you to be confused. You know what you need to do. You know what action you need to take. It's just a matter of taking the actual action. I'm going to leave it there. Blessings and protection on this collective. Peace, love, and light, beautiful soul. If you enjoy the vibe around here, be sure to subscribe and, of course, check out my oracle decks. See you next time.